Hello, welcome to this webinar on how to secure your ever-expanding network. My name is Bastiaan Germs and I am a Security Solution Manager at Proximus. Your employees, information and assets are moving to and beyond the edge of your network. They are no longer always protected by the secured perimeter, for example when home working. The shift has accelerated in 2020 due to the pandemic and it will most likely become the next normal. But how do you prevent that this move to the edge becomes living on the edge from a security perspective? How do you protect your ever-expanding network without an ever-expanding staff or budget? And how do you keep track of your assets and information moving to software as a service, the cloud, and the home offices of your employees? In this webinar, you will learn how you can execute this digital transformation in a secure way. First, let's look back at how we used to protect our organizations in the past. We used to apply the concept of a castle. Employees worked in offices, factories, shops and other fully controlled environments. They used company-owned and managed desktops or laptops. Your servers and applications were on-premise and your network was protected by a firewall, much like the thick walls of a castle. Within these thick walls, everything was considered safe. Most networks were unsegmented, which means that within the perimeter, any user or device can reach any other device without restriction or checks. And remote sites were part of the single network through secured tunnels, using a wide area network or MPLS like Proximus Explorer. This might sound insecure, but it actually wasn't, because many less explicit or non-IT security measures were applied that are often overlooked when executing the digital transformation. For example, before your employees could use their computer, they had to identify themselves at the turnstiles of your office with a badge. And they shook hands with their colleagues before taking place at their desk. In fact, you could say that the multi-factor authentication was in place, even though the employee only had to use a password to get access to the desktop computer. Or take, for example, your applications. They were accessible from the entire network, but all endpoint devices were managed by your organization. The application servers were securely locked behind closed doors and behind the firewall. And there was no need to access these applications from the internet. So the security risk was still limited. But year over year, organizations have been moving away from this situation. Applications have been migrated to software as a service like Microsoft Office 365 or Salesforce. Servers have migrated to public cloud like Azure and AWS. The endpoints that your employees use are no longer fully managed by your organization, like bring your own smartphones and laptops. Machines in factories, vending machines and printers are connected to the internet and managed remotely by a third party. And of course, your employees are working more and more from home, especially since COVID-19. In most organizations, the security measures have not been adjusted at the same pace. Especially the non-IT security measures have been overlooked when adding security layers to this new expanded network. For example, many organizations still only rely on a username and a password for their employees to get access to their laptops, even when working from home. But how do you know that the person accessing this laptop is actually your employee? At home, they don't have to use a badge to access their house, or they don't greet their colleagues before they access their computer. Therefore, it is important to replace these traditional security measures by new security measures. In this example, by multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication means that you combine 2 or more factors to authenticate yourself. In the past, we used 3 factors without being aware of this. The badge was something you have, people recognizing and greeting you was something you are, and your password was something you know. In the new situation, you can, for example, replace the badge with a mobile authentication app, and greetings with the facial recognition or fingerprint feature on your smartphone. As it was in the past, authentication becomes a dynamic evaluation of all parameters in the environment. For example, the state of your endpoint, your different credentials, your physical location, but also the application you want to access and your former behavior are all parameters in assessing the trustworthiness of you as a user, at the time doing what you are doing. Access will be given conditionally based on all these items. In industry jargon, this evolved security strategy is called Zero Trust. Zero Trust is built around the concept that you should not assume that you can trust devices, servers, applications and other assets simply because they are located within your secured network. Instead, all resources must be accessed in a secured way. Access should be limited to the bare minimum that is required to do the job. You should always verify everyone and everything that tries to connect to your systems and applications. Applying multi-factor authentication, for example, is a way to verify your employee's identity. It is important to inspect and log what's happening in the security ecosystem. And the design of your security architecture should be centered around the data that you want to protect. This Zero Trust concept has become popular because most networks are no longer a physical perimeter with one entrance secured by a firewall. Your network has expanded and includes, for example, your SaaS applications, public cloud, and your employees' home offices. And your organization no longer has end-to-end ownership over these extensions of your network. In order to allow flexible, easy to manage and secure communication between all these assets, organizations are interconnecting them using software-defined wide area networks, or SD-WAN. However, when implementing SD-WAN as if it were your traditional unsegmented network, the security risk increases significantly. As you no longer fully control all these assets, like smartphones, the home network and the public cloud, there is a much higher risk that malicious actors can access your network. In fact, Zero Trust concept tells us that you should assume that you can't trust any of these assets anymore. It is therefore important to add an additional layer of security on top of your software-defined network. During the past years, several point solutions were developed that address some of these concerns. For example, cloud access security broker solutions are used to protect your information by enforcing your organization's security policy on SaaS solutions like Office 365. And to block or monitor the use of SaaS solutions that are not allowed by your organization, like, for example, Dropbox. Recently, we've seen a convergence of these security solutions, often fully integrated with SD-WAN network features. This combination is sometimes dubbed Secure Access Service Edge, or SASE. This holistic approach to securing network access for your end users and devices enables a more effective technical infrastructure, consistent security policies, and clear responsibilities, with the goal to protect your information and digital assets optimally. Proximus can assist your organization with selecting the right technology and operational model to protect your ever-expanding network. We have many years of experience in both networking and security, and we are therefore able to provide you with end-to-end solutions to protect your business. Our end-to-end service offering goes beyond being a service provider alone. A recent Proximus survey among 87 organizations in Belgium and the Netherlands showed that 51% didn't have an active security strategy. Proximus can assist you with defining and implementing your security and compliance strategy and policies. We can help designing your new network architecture. And we can, for example, execute security audits and penetration tests. One of the major challenges of this multitude of networks, applications and solutions is to keep track of your assets and information, and also to find skilled staff and extra budget to manage and monitor your environment. 39% of the respondents in our survey indicated that they had a shortage of specialized security employees. This is where Proximus steps in with its managed security services. Let's listen to my colleagues Sven Wutterwilge and Bob Ruts, who will tell you all about it.
In a digitized world, a cyber attack lurks around the corner. New risks arise because of the digital transformation. Securing your IT systems optimally is essential to ensure the continuity of your activities and customer services. Proximus has installed a specialized cybersecurity center where more than 40 experts are analyzing IT threats and are monitoring what is happening 24/7.
Dit is het Customer ICT en Cybersecurity Center van Proximus, van waaruit we zowel de netwerkmonitoring als de security-analyse voor onze klanten doen. Netwerkmonitoring wil zeggen dat we de ICT-netwerken van onze klanten in de gaten gaan houden en dat we ervoor gaan zorgen dat als er bepaalde incidenten voorvallen waardoor dat de klant een impact heeft, dat we kunnen reageren. Daarnaast doen we security-analyse waarop dat we feitelijk gaan kijken of dat er mogelijke threats zijn naar onze klanten toe en daar gaan we dan ook een actie ondernemen in samenspraak met onze klanten.
Governments, large companies, but also SMEs can turn to Proximus for a full service package of managed security services. Platform services are services for security control and security management. The platforms we use are always available, effective and scalable. Via knowledge services, you can tap into the deep-rooted security expertise of Proximus, and you can call on our operational support to take control of your own security. In addition, enabling services ensure smooth communication and full support for all your questions.
De challenge die we proberen voor onze klanten mee op te lossen is het vinden van de juiste kennis voor de problemen die zij zien op het gebied van security. En met Managed Security Services hebben we natuurlijk het voordeel dat de kennis die we opgebouwd hebben als groep, dat we ter beschikking kunnen stellen van een heel aantal klanten. En dat maakt niet uit of je een kleine digitale service hebt of je bent een grote internationale bank. Iedereen heeft dezelfde challenges.
Thanks to Proximus's managed security services, you will enjoy the largest security expertise in the country, the most recent technologies, carefree management of your IT environment, transparent pricing, 24/7 availability.
As you can see, moving to the network edge doesn't have to mean living on the edge from a security perspective. With the right solution and the right partner to assist you, you can securely execute your digital transformation. And Proximus is there to support you from A to Z. Thank you for attending this webinar. We will remain available to answer your questions.